It's time to talk NASCAR on Prime Sports Network as we recap. Actually, we're going to review the race from Kansas, the Advent Health 400, Kansas Speedway. Kurt Busch getting the win. Eric Smith, racereviewonline.net, coming to us live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That location is all set up for another show. But while we have Eric, of course, on site, as the IndyCar Series will be practicing and then qualifying, heading up to the Indianapolis 500 coming up in about a week and a half. We'll take advantage. Eric, how's everything going?
Good so far. Just wrapped up a 2-hour session this morning. Had some media bullpen time. Get a little bit more driver time here before they get back going at 3. But yeah, it's good. Good month of May day here in Indianapolis.
And we will be doing shows as early as potentially tomorrow, correct?
Correct. Tomorrow's a chance of rain. So if it's really rainy, maybe we'll just do Thursday where I can get this background rather than some gloomy background of a car.
Yeah.
That's never good. Let's utilize what we've got here. So Thursday is going to be nice. So if it's gloomy here tomorrow, we'll just do Thursday and maybe Thursday and Friday.
So that's Fast Friday?
Fast Friday is this Friday. Yep.
And then what? Qualifying is Saturday.
Saturday
and Sunday. And then next week is pretty much
Monday, Friday are the 2 practice days next week.
Do those practices really matter much?
Oh yeah, big one, big time.
They do.
Big
okay.
Time. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So we'll have a lot to talk about as far as Indy 500 starting on Thursday. Let's recap what happened in the NASCAR series on Sunday. Another crazy race. Cars tires just going down left and right. And Kurt Busch does what he has seemed to do for the past 3 or 4 years. He has one race a year where he all of a sudden starts to lead laps during the race, and you go, oh, I guess this is going to be the race that Kurt Busch is going to win.
Yeah, he seems to do it. Doesn't matter what he drives for, who he's driving for, what manufacturer is under the hood. No matter where the track, it seems like there's a 1.5 mile track Kurt Busch is going to win at. He did it at Kentucky with Ganassi. He did it a year later at Ganassi with Vegas. And now he did it at Kansas. All 3 similar tracks. So it just seems like no matter where he goes, he wins. And Denny Hamlin mentioned, this is why we hired him. This is why we started second team. We could have had any driver we wanted. We got Michael Jordan's money. He trusted me to bring him a driver, and I brought him Denny Hamlin. And he talked about that in his post-race press conference on Sunday.
All right, let's see what he had to say.
Hey, put your brand on a car of a 44-year-old veteran instead of, maybe these kind of younger hot shoes?
No, because he wins. I mean, the fact is Kurt Busch wins, and it doesn't matter about any previous history at this racetrack. We know when we show up, if we got a fast car, he is capable of winning, and that's what I saw in Kurt Busch.
He is capable of winning, and that is what it's all about, isn't it, Eric?
It is.
You have a driver, a veteran. Just is why we just never know. But once a year, he's going to win a race, and that's all. He may not have top 5s and top 10s, but he's going to win a race, and he's going to go to the playoffs.
Yep, and now he's there. And now the focus shifts. We were talking about, are we going to get more than 16 winners? We got 13 races down, so we're halfway through the regular season. 13 down, 13 to go, 11 different winners. It seems like everybody's going to get a win before we get a multiple repeat. I know we got Byron and Chastain, but here we are again. But we're starting to run out of guys. And Kurt, we thought could be that guy, and then he went way off the rails. Like what I say last week, like 28th or worse, and like 5 of the last 6, and then he, like you said, he shows up, and there he is again. Hey, Kurt's back. So this is what they do. The 23-11, they're in the playoffs now. Bubba won a race last year, but it wasn't in the playoffs. He was in the playoffs. Now they're in the playoffs as we sit today. He's in. Now if we get 17, 18 winners, then it's a different story. But right now, I don't think we'll get that many anyways. He's in. And as Denny said, this is why we hired him. This is why we brought him here, because I could have had any driver. I could go with any of the young guys, but this is what Kurt does. Now he comes here and wins, and that's good for him.
And he probably won't win again the rest of the year. So,
yeah,
but that's okay. He's in the playoffs.
Yeah, and how about out of the first 13 races, 3 different wins by 2 for Trackhouse, 1 by 23-11. It's already – Colleague was new last year, 1 year of all places, on the road course behind me with A.J. Allmendinger. So these new teams aren't only coming in, they're winning, and that's good for the sport.
Absolutely. We'll find out whether or not Bubba, though, can not only win but do it on a regular racetrack in regular setting conditions. So that's something that
I think the question's got to be asked now: does this put pressure on him?
should.
I mean, because now you've got Kurt, who's been here half of a regular season, is already winning, and Bubba. Granted, he had a good car too. He had kind of the Ryan Blaney syndrome with pit stops. His pit crew's been letting him down a lot. So we'll see what Bubba can do. But now that Kurt's already winning on a mile and a half, it's time to win if you're Bubba.
By the way, congratulations on your fantasy team, because not only did Kurt Busch come through for you, but you also had Kyle Larson finishing second. And so you these kind of races that you need to inch up in the standings.
I wrote about that in our article this week. I tip my hat to you for the March 29th trade that took both of those from you, transferred to me, and I get a 1-2 finish out of them. So, we're starting to heat up. That's why you took Stenhouse. I thought about it, but I also thought if you win 2 weeks in a row and your team's starting to heat up, do you really make a change, or you just let's ride it out? Now that Kurt's got to win, I'd be
but for your team, I'm not sure who you would make would you have made the change with Suarez or Almirola?
That's what I was looking at, but it'd be one of those two.
I would have stayed put.
Neither of them.
I would have stayed put.
I did. That's because Almirola's kind of like that Kurt Busch.
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
He could find a win.
Yes.
And Suarez, again, like Chastain, he's had
bad luck again. Every time it seems like he has an opportunity to win a race, something happens to his car.
Yeah, it's bad luck. So eventually, that luck I feel like will turn. So I'll hold off. There's not many out there that if you're going to make a change, you got to upgrade. And I don't think Stenhouse right now, even for the future, is an upgrade over those two.
No,
so
he needs to. And I took Stenhouse not only because of the 3 straight top 10s, but because he's really good at Charlotte. And I figured, okay, this is the time to take him. And if he does well with Charlotte, I keep him. If he flunks at Charlotte, then I got to start thinking elsewhere, because I need that last driver on my board kind of complete things. But that's still going to be a roll of the dice. Meanwhile, as far as the rest, it was just a crazy race, and that's the kind of races that we have been having this year. Again, whether or not Kurt Busch was the best driver, he was, but it still was crazy. It's just you didn't know whose tire was going to go down. All things considered, Kansas is not a great race for passing for the lead and all that kind of stuff. But once again, at least it was tight again at the restarts. So that was a difference that we were able to see. But the tires just wore off just so fast, and it was not like previous Kansas races where you could gamble on 2 tires potentially if you wanted to.
No, especially with the tire issues they were having. You needed the 4, and it kind of reminded me of an old school NASCAR race when you got going. It was kind of getting spread out, but you could pass. There was comers and goers. So I'd say it's still an improved race compared to the 550 package. So we're still trending in the right direction. The tires is an issue, but hey, it's year 1 of this new car with this new tire. I'll be patient. I mean, I know it's not ideal, but hey, you know what? It's helping spice the show up when you got guys that
you don't know who's going to win every week.
No, so I still like it. Hey, you don't know whose tire is going to blow. It's not ideal for the guys to be blowing tires and like Chase Elliott and getting stuck and blah blah blah. But hey, it's good for us fans because you just don't know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. So it opens the door for some more chaos, and I like chaos in racing.
Okay, so we are going to preview the All-Star race sometime this week. We don't know when, but, again, Eric's at Indianapolis, so he's got a busy schedule, but we will figure it out. And when we preview the All-Star race, the bottom line is we're not going to be these expert All-Star race handicappers. We're going to do mostly an opportunity to explain the format and maybe give you guys some tips as far as the best, if you do want to wager on the race, the best way to go about doing it, because you're going to have a lot of drivers who are not even going to be in the race yet based on, what do you call those races?
The Open.
The Open? Okay.
The Open. It's, because there's not a whole lot you can base. They use different formats. Like we've got like 3 stages or 4, but the guy that wins a stage gets to automatically advance, so he's not in the other 2 stages. And then I think between the first and second stage, The lineup is going to be determined by pit stop time and all.
Are we gonna have like an inverse as well?
Yeah, so there is no rhyme or reason.
I don't know why they do this. I got no idea why they do it this way. Who wants this?
Yeah, and in qualifying, it's a head-to-head. You both are going to pit at the same time, and you both are going to. That's the first one across the finish line. It's like a head-to-head battle. Well, you win, now you advance, and you don't, and you start here. So it's experiments. That's why it's a tough race to bet because there is no rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, that's why it's not going to be in our weekly picks. It's just too crazy.
There's just no way. It's no way to know. And what I do know is Hendrick Motorsports is won last year and then won the year before with Chase, and the hottest driver seems to win because you got to look at the two drivers that won the All-Star race. 2020, Chase Elliott won the championship. 2021, Kyle Larson won the championship.
Interesting.
So the guys that typically win the All-Star race, there's a reason. Okay. Even with all these weird formats, usually they always say the cream rises to the top. Okay. So,
but we've only had one race at this track for the All-Star race, right?
Exactly.
That was last year in Texas.
Yeah,
okay.
And it's a completely different format. Okay. We have 5 stages. So, yeah, there's really not a whole lot that you can dive into other than if you're going to bet it, just pick one driver. Maybe
pick your favorite driver.
Maybe go Larson. Yeah,
that's it.
Don't go break the bank on this one. You don't. There's nobody knows. There's only one person that knows, and he's God, and we're not.
Oh.
So we have no idea what's going to happen. If you say you do, then they're lying to you because the drivers don't even know.
Okay. On that benevolent remark, we will call it a show. So appreciate your time as always, Eric. Again, we will be back in a few days to talk Indy 500. And we'll also take a look ahead at the All-Star race on Sunday night, right?
Yes,
Sunday night. Yep. I have no idea why it's on Sunday night. Is there a holiday on Monday?
No, I think they're experimenting again with
the old experiment.
Do Sunday night races.
Okay,
yeah, this is the true experimental race.
Okay, sounds good.
I don't know how's an All-Star race an experimental thing, but that's
you got all day, and you're gonna have it. Maybe it's because could it be because it's the PGA Championship on Sunday?
I think part that and part you got Indy 500 pole qualifying.
Okay.
So let's just avoid the whole thing.
Not a bad idea.
Go at night.
All right, we'll see.
I applaud them. You're not going head-to-head with it, so I'm okay with that.
Eric, we will check out racereviewonline.net for all of the updates on the Indy 500 and, of course, everything pertaining to last week's race and upcoming for the All-Star race in Texas. We will talk to you in a few days.
All right, sounds good.